Good evening, friends. My name is Marvin Broadwater Sr. I'm a former Georgia State representative and the vice chairman of the Fatherhood Conversation for the state organization of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity. I would like to welcome you to our next installment of the Fatherhood Conversation. This program is a collaboration between our state organization and the Georgia Department of Human Services. This partnership has and continues to inform Georgia citizens about the Fatherhood program and the services it provides. At this time, I'd like to welcome to the floor our state chairman of our Fatherhood Initiative and Youth Mentoring Committee, Brother Barrett Walker, who will also bring the prayer as well as greetings from his office. Brother Walker, you have the floor, sir. Your mic is off.
I'm sorry, could everybody hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All right, again, I'm sorry for having technical difficulties with my camera, but I'd like to thank everybody for coming on to participate in these great events that we have throughout the state of Georgia, and all the participants and the panelists and everybody that's here. And at this time, I would like to give a short prayer, so everybody can please bow your head. Lord, thank everybody for participating in Fatherhood Conversation tonight that we service the area of Columbus. Please allow the people that's here to be able to gather this information and use this information to better themselves and their families, and also give the youth in the state of Georgia a better opportunity to be great young men and young women. That I say in your son, Jesus Christ's name, amen. At this time, I will turn it over to our Georgia State rep, which is Brother David Jones.
So we will have, instead of Brother Jones, we will have our first vice state representative, Brother Timothy Block, bring greetings from the state office of the representative and his office, first vice state. Brother Block, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Brother Broadwater. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this latest installment of the Fatherhood Conversation. The State of Georgia organization is so very proud to bring these conversations to our communities. This subject and the information that we talk about is definitely sorely needed in our communities. We want to make sure that we're providing information and the confidence and the resources to enable fathers to be a part of their children's lives. So with that, I want to welcome you on behalf of our 19th state representative, Brother David Jones, who is traveling, couldn't be with us tonight, but also for myself and the great brothers of the state of Georgia. We appreciate you, and hopefully you will take a lot from this conversation and be able to use it in your communities. With that, I'll turn it back over to Brother Walker.
Thank you, Brother Blocker, first vice state rep. And now I turn it back over to Brother Broadwater.
Again, thank you, first vice state rep and Brother Chair of our committee. Just one last reminder to our audience. You may view this as a recording on the State of Georgia Omega Psi Phi Facebook and YouTube platforms. We ask that you share this information as we concentrate on Columbus, Georgia, the Fountain City, and the surrounding areas tonight. Keep in mind, this program is available to every non-custodial parent paying child support in the state of Georgia. Now, we will yield the floor to Mr. John Strickland, Georgia Department of Human Services Fatherhood Conversation Supervisor, as he will serve as our moderator for this evening. Mr. Strickland, you have the floor, sir. Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Strickland, I'm sorry, before you start, one important thing I forgot, the instructions for tonight. So if you have questions, please use the Q&A feature. Those questions will be fed to Mr. Strickland, and he will answer those questions as they come in. So please use the Q&A to ask any questions that you may have. Go ahead, Mr. Strickland.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I appreciate that so very, very much. You said it better than I could have even attempted to say it. So I appreciate you giving those instructions. This afternoon, this evening, we'd like to welcome you and thank you for joining our fatherhood conversation. What we are here to do is to tell you about the Division of Child Support Services and to tell you about our outreach services and the way that we partner with entities and agencies and individuals to provide a service for non-custodial parents so that they can become very involved in the lives of their children. The Division of Child Support Services believes that children need both parents. And that's one of the reasons that we're having the conversations that we're having all across the state of Georgia at various times, various dates throughout the months of the year. We want to engage individuals in conversation so that fathers can understand all the opportunities that are available to them so that they can become involved in educational pursuits, so that they can become involved in career training pursuits. We're not just talking about getting a job and being on a job for a year or two. The Georgia Fatherhood wants to take and connect individuals with career opportunities. So we're going to talk about issues, items that are very close to our listeners' heart, such as we're going to talk about driver's license reinstatement. We're going to talk about job search and job placement. We're going to talk about emotional wellness and training, support order modification and review, GED enrollment if you need that services. There's a variety of things that we're going to talk about this evening for the next little while that's at the heart of our listeners. So we are hoping that those who are listening honestly will engage with us by presenting us their questions. If they have questions about child support, about the services that we provide in our outreach services. The only thing that we will not address tonight is this. We will not personally engage in an individual's personal information. So if you've got a question about our program, about our services, about our division, about our outreach programs, about our partners, we welcome those questions. But if you have a particular question about your individual case, we're going to introduce you to the office manager in the Columbus area. And we would encourage you, please, to reach out to the office manager, and she would be able to direct you to the sources and to the individuals that you need to confer with to get individual questions answered about you and your work and process with the Division of Child Support Services. So having said that, we've got an outstanding panel that is ready to answer your questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to yield the floor and allow our panel members to introduce themselves, tell you a little bit about themselves, and then we'll start the questions as they begin to come in. But I will begin with Mr. Ken Lockhart and allow him to introduce himself, and then we'll go from there.
Thank you, Mr. Strickland. My name is Ken Lockhart. I'm the Director of Recruitment and Campus Life here at Columbus Technical College here in Columbus, Georgia. I am glad to be a part of the Fatherhood program. So if I could be of any assistance to anyone, I'm always here. My door is always open. And we have a lot of programs and a lot of opportunities, career opportunities for our students in the Columbus, Georgia area. So remember my name, and anything I could do, just let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that, Mr. Ken. And now we'll move to Ms. Pam Coley.
Good evening. My name is Pamela Coley. I am the Fatherhood Program Supervisor for the Central Georgia region, which expands from Columbus to Dublin in the Central Georgia region. Our goal is to assist parents who are ordered to pay child support with overcoming anything that's impeding them from fulfilling their child support obligation in full, be it through training opportunities, employment opportunities. This program has been in existence for quite some time, and we are always willing to help those parents who need our services.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Ms. Blunt.
Thank you, John. Good evening. My name is Tracy Blunt. I serve as the grant specialist for our Access and Visitation Program at DCSS.
Okay, Ms. Scott.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ms. Scott. I am the local office manager for the Child Support Office here in Columbus, Georgia. I am glad to be a part of this panel today so you all can see that we are involved with our outreach programs and encourage you to visit the office. Thank you, John.
Thank you. Mr. Turner.
Hi, my name is Devias Turner. I am a store manager for Walmart stores in the Tri-City area, and we have plenty of opportunities for employment with our stores in the area. So looking forward to see what we can do for the panel.
All right. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. And I want you to be encouraged by having this information, Mr. Turner. We are going to talk to you about employment opportunities, and we know that Walmart isn't individualized in a particular place in Georgia. It's throughout the whole nation. So we'll involve you with conversations about Georgia and other places throughout the United States as well. Okay. So thank you as well for being with us this afternoon. Let me begin by talking about the Georgia Fatherhood Program. And I believe I've been with the Georgia Fatherhood Program since the program went statewide in 1998. It's been around since 1997. And I do honestly believe that the Georgia Fatherhood Program has done a lot of beneficial things for individuals who have enrolled in the Georgia Fatherhood Program. Having said that, I want to explain, or have Ms. Coley to explain, if she would, how an individual could enroll in the Georgia Fatherhood Program. You know, we can have a lot of good programs with a lot of good people in the programs that's orchestrating and organizing it, but an individual's got to know how to enroll. So Ms. Coley, if you would talk to us about how a individual that's listening tonight could enroll in the Georgia Fatherhood Program if they so desire.
Thank you so much, John. There are several ways that a person who is requesting to participate in the Fatherhood Program can connect with us. The program is offered to males and females who are the non-custodial parent who have an active DCSS child support case. We work with those who are unemployed or underemployed. The first option, would be to connect using our mobile app. They can complete a driver's license deferral agreement and select fatherhood as an option for driver's license release, and that will prompt the local office to provide a referral. A non-custodial parent can also visit our local child support office and discuss their case with an enforcement agent, who will then review eligibility requirements and provide an invitation to our next orientation as well. Thirdly, and they can send an email to our fatherhood inquiry email, and their case will be reviewed. And again, if they meet eligibility requirements, can have a referral sent to them via email.
Okay, we appreciate that. And that's from the fatherhood standpoint, what we do within our unit, our classroom of work, if I can use that phrase. But in everything that we do within the Georgia Fatherhood Program, there's always got to be that initiation or participation that's taking place within the local office. So we've got Ms. Scott, the office manager for the Columbus office, with us. So if you would, Ms. Scott, tell us just a little bit about how you encourage your participants, or your participants and customers that comes there, and the participants that comes there, and the customers that come there. Tell us how you encourage your local staff to refer these individuals to the Fatherhood Program. You're on mute. And I should have muted my mic because I had a big truck right outside my window that I was trying to overspeak. So go ahead, Ms. Scott.
Okay. We refer and encourage customers through two different ways: through the establishment process, once they sign a final order for child support and they're not employed or they underemployed, we do a referral on them to Fatherhood because they just starting out paying child support or obligated to pay child support. So through the establishment process, they're encouraged to enroll because Fatherhood is a good program to help you to, get on your feet. Through the enforcement process, when we get ready to do the contempt process through the enforcement, we refer all our customers to the Fatherhood program just to give them a chance to participate in the program, tell them a little bit about the program, what can be offered, and just encourage them to utilize it, utilize the resources in Fatherhood. So those two processes, how we encourage the customer as well as our agents to refer them to the Fatherhood program.
Well, that is absolutely outstanding. So we catch them in the establishment process, if I can use that verb, catch, and I mean that in a very, very positive way. We interact with them and communicate with them in the establishment process so that if they need employment opportunities and or training, we can go ahead and get them involved in that process before there are any struggles reflected on meeting their court-ordered obligations. So let me go back to Ms. Coley and ask Ms. Coley if she would explain to our listeners, Ms. Coley, how we within our unit, the Georgia Fatherhood Program, would work with the individual that is referred to us in the establishment process.
Okay, if someone that's referred to us in the establishment process, we help them, we educate them first and foremost about the child support system, the child support program. We educate them about their obligation, and we do a skills assessment to determine what skills they already possess, what employment skills they already have, so that we can match them with job placement. We provide countless referrals to various employment opportunities, as well as work with them on being connected to their child through access and visitation, through Goodwill, other community resources in the area, to develop a resume, to determine if they need GED assistance, soft skills training, all those services that we offer, we would offer to a participant in the establishment phase, but as well as the enforcement phase as well.
Okay, so what we do with that individual is we engage with them early so that we can get them to work or we can get them to school. It's important as the child support order is established. If an individual is struggling in these areas of work, training, job, etc., our program engages with them early so that we can lead them in a direction that will encompass the area of need. With that having been said, we have Mr. Turner with us, and I'm going to ask him if he would, from his perspective as our community employer, if he would, to kind of talk about how his organization hires participants that we would send to them, and if there's any standard or anything that they've got to meet, any requirements that they have to meet in order to be employed.
So with our company, the basic requirements are you have to be at least 16 years old. 16 years old, take the assessment. You don't have to have a high school diploma when you're a minor, but we do offer a program once the associate is hired. We do pay for schooling, $1 a day for schooling for those that need help or need assistance. And we have a social and critical needs for those also that are applying for the community. But coming from your program, we could set up what we call like an open interview for the people in your program, and we can sit them down and have one-on-ones with those and teach them how to apply, what to do, and what to put on applications to get them in the door. But we do partner with the community a lot on different things and do hiring events to help out in our local community.
Okay, well, that's good. We appreciate that. Walmart is a vital player in most every community throughout the state of Georgia and the nation. And we do appreciate the opportunities to refer our participants to the Walmart stores throughout Georgia for potential employment opportunities. I know that as a fatherhood agent, whenever I was a fatherhood agent, we would refer individuals to the Walmart store, and on many occasions they would be put to work. And not only would they be put to work, but they were given career opportunities. That's what we want to make sure that folks understands in our conversation tonight. We're not just trying to expose individuals to jobs. We want to expose individuals to a career. And I think, Mr. Turner, you could say most energetically that if we referred someone to Walmart for a job placement, it could be considered a career opportunity.
Yeah, yes, sir. That's definitely because myself, I was referred as overnight maintenance associate. Never thought I would be at Walmart 9 years, and here I am a store manager 9 years later. So, there's definitely room for growth, and we also have those mentorship programs within the company also that partners you with someone in a higher level to get you to that point where you want to be. But the Dollar a Day program offers certification, skill sets of things that you want to do, and it also outlines things in the company that for that specific training that you want for yourself. So it's definitely a room to grow and make a career out of it.
Okay. And we appreciate that. That's valuable information. Mr. Lockhart, whenever a person is referred to us in the establishment process, that basically means that we are beginning to interact as an agency with that individual as they comply with their court order. So many of those individuals would need educational opportunities. And I know that you're involved in recruitment at Columbus Technical College. So tell us how you and your organization would work with our participants as we refer them to you for educational opportunities.
Yes, sir. So Columbus Tech, our ultimate mission is to help provide workforce development and to be the gateway for community prosperity through our training. We offer a lot of careers at Columbus Technical College. I won't name all of them, I'll just hit on a couple of high points. We have careers in professional technical area programs, such as welding, carpentry, cabinet making, etc. We also have barbering, cosmetology, and then over in business, we have everything from computer support to cybersecurity, healthcare, everything from LPN to an RN program. I mean, just a host of programs. So you're looking at, we have over 100 programs at Columbus Technical College to include GED programs. So if a student also needs those services, we offer everything from short-term programs like certificate programs to diplomas to even associate degrees. Most of our students get a job even before they complete their program, specifically in those programs like healthcare and professional technical. There's just so many job opportunities, so many career opportunities out there. We have about a 98% job placement rate. And we actually have a career services department. So we take care of the whole entire student from day one. We have an easy process as far as the application process is concerned. It's only just a few things that you have to do to get started. And one of the key things that I just want to kind of mention to everyone is a thing called a HOPE grant. So the HOPE grant, if you are a Georgia resident, you're eligible for the HOPE grant. The HOPE grant will cover, if you go into any certificate or diploma program, will cover up to 80% of your tuition. And on top of that, we have a lot of articulation agreements with CSU, Valdosta State, just to name a few. So you could come and start at Columbus Tech and then even transfer over to a four-year institution if you so chose to do that. But I'm here, so like I said, anything that we can do to help you guys and my team. I'm working with Ms. Coley. I've talked to you before, Mr. Strickland, and work with Mr. Broadwater as well. So we already have a connection here. And like I say again, whatever you guys need, I'm here for you. And my information has been posted, so you have my direct email address if you have any questions, and my phone number.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. We do believe that one of the most valuable resources that we offer our participants is career opportunity, training opportunity, educational opportunity. And we know that the Georgia Fatherhood Program in the Columbus area has made several referrals to the technical college, and many of our participants have been successful in that area. So we appreciate everything that you and your organization is doing for our participants. It means a lot to us, and it means a lot to our participants. As a person comes into our operation, our scope of service with the Division of Child Support Services, whether they're coming in the establishment process or in the enforcement process, many of them have a question about access and visitation. Many of our participants tell us that they're not really concerned or overly concerned with the obligation of paying the support as the court has ordered them to do. They would like to be engaged personally as a parent in the lives of their children. So one of the most outstanding programs in our agency, our division, is Access and Visitation, where the Georgia Fatherhood Program works with Access and Visitation in ensuring that fathers, non-custodial parents have access to their children. So I'm going to yield the floor to two people. I'm not going to do it at one time, but we're going to have a spinoff. I'm going to yield the floor first to Ms. Coley and allow her to talk about what fatherhood does with access and visitation and how we get our participants ready. And then I'm going to let her toss a question, if she would, to Ms. Blunt and allow her to tell us about the process with access and visitation. Ladies?
Sure. Once a participant has engaged with the fatherhood agent in their area and advised that they want to assistance with connecting with their child by visitation, we do at the initial accountability session which happens after the orientation. This is where we discuss and develop a plan of action while enrolling in the program, which includes a referral to the access and visitation program in their area. And once we send a referral, Ms. Tracy, will you then tell us what happens once your agency receives the referral?
Absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Coley. I tell you what, Mr. Lockhart made it step the bar up for me and Ms. Coley to sell our stuff as much as he just sold his technical college there. Okay. So at Access and Visitation, it's a very simple process. You'll just talk to your fatherhood agent about it. What we do is connect non-custodial parents with their children, okay? Because we believe that stronger families make stronger Georgia. You make for a stronger Georgia. So our goal is to provide services. So what happens is Ms. Coley's employees, they'll send us a referral and we'll send it to our service provider. Our service provider then contacts the non-custodian, trying to find out what they need. If they're needing legitimation or they need visitation, they'll work on boundaries that they might have, as far as anger management, do some individual counseling. So there's a lot that we can assist with at Access and Visitation.
Okay. One of that, while we have you and you have the mic, Ms. Blunt, let me just ask you, there's lots of conversations in our orientations and our interactions with participants and customers about legitimation. They want to know about legitimation. How do they go about legitimizing their child? Some of them do not actually understand what legitimation is, means legally, etc. So how about expounding on that process for us?
Absolutely, John. Well, legitimation is a process that we at DCSS do not get involved in. It's because it's a legal matter. So what we do is our service providers have all of the paperwork that you would need to file for legitimation. So they will assist you with that paperwork, filling it out, making sure that you understand what you're doing, because it's a lengthy package and the cost is usually pretty expensive when you go to the courts. However, our service providers will also work with you when you go to the clerk's office to see if you qualify for a waiver of services, which means that you don't have to pay. Okay, so you may be able to file for legitimation free of charge, except for the service fee to have the custodian served. So that is one of the great things that our service providers can do, because they understand that process. They understand what paperwork needs to be filled out to make it easier, and then they can assist you even with the courthouse part of it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. we'll go back now to the employment side and the possibilities of employment. And Mr. Turner, one of the questions that has come from our viewers is simply this: would Walmart be a felon-friendly company for those who are transitioning back into the general population?
With that, our background process is done through a third party. So what I've seen from my experience, it depends on the severity of the felony. That's neither 10 how to determine whether they hire someone and how long ago has the felony been. I know after 7 to 10 years, from experience, they've hired felons.
Okay, and that's good news. Mr. Lockhart, are there programs at your facility that is felon friendly? Do you have anything that would immediately assist an individual returning to the general population?
Definitely. There are opportunities for even entrepreneurship. I advise a lot of students. So there's some things that you could do, like barbering, cabinet making, carpentry, brick masonry. I mean, the list goes on and on. So yes, we could definitely accommodate a potential student in a situation like that. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. And that's good information. Ms. Blunt, if an individual is returning to the general population, how does access and visitation serve them?
So, like I said, we get a referral. The only reason that someone would not qualify for access and visitation would be because they had a family violence on the case. It had to be coded with family violence. So those cases are not eligible, but any other case that we have would be eligible for services, and our service providers could assist at that time.
Okay, all right. Ms. Coley, as an individual is referred to the Georgia Fatherhood Program, if there is a criminal background that follows them, how do we within our program serve that individual?
Well, that individual, one of our other partners is the Georgia Department of Labor, and we would connect that participant with the Department of Labor to assist with obtaining federal bonding, to assist them with gaining employment. The federal bonding program is kind of like a surety bond that will protect the employer in the event of something happening. And this can be for those that have felony backgrounds or are considered high risk, poor credit, or other instances, poor work history or lack of work history, who are considered high risk. So we would definitely partner them with a representative from the Department of Labor to assist with federal bonding.
Okay. So the good news is that we have covered all across our panel tonight is this: it matters not where you've been or what you've done. It matters what you are determined to become. So there's opportunity for education, there's opportunity for access and visitation, there's opportunity for employment. No matter what happens in our lives, what we're trying to say to individuals that are watching tonight is that we are here to serve them and to help them in any capacity that we can possibly help them with. Mr. Lockhart, let me ask you this question. If an individual comes to your facility for educational pursuits and they do not have a high school diploma or a GED, what services do you guys offer?
We actually offer the GED program right here on campus. It's easy to access the application. Matter of fact, a good friend of mine, which he is a brother to Omega Psi Phi, Mr. Kevin Caldwell, he's my right-hand man. So we're family, and all I have to do is just transfer them right over to Mr. Kevin Caldwell. Between myself and Mr. Caldwell, we'll take care of them. Too easy.
Okay. All right. If they start, can they start particular programs without a high school diploma or a GED?
Yes, they can. While they are pursuing their GED, there are some embedded certificate programs that we have. Like for instance, we have several certificates in welding, so they can actually get certified in a particular area while they are pursuing their GED. And in many cases, it's free. It's free. We have a lot of opportunities for that. So
Okay.
yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And I want to go one step further with that. Okay. if an individual is involved in welding, using your example, and they don't have a GED or a high school diploma, but they get a couple certificates. Those certificates are giving to them, and they are valid certificates, even if they do not obtain their GED and complete the welding program and get the diploma therein, correct?
The ultimate goal is to get them the GED. But yes, sir, those are still valid certifications that they'll be able to have and take with them. And so, yeah, so they are valid TCCs. So they are technical certificates of credit. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I want to make sure that our viewers are understanding the great opportunity that you are affording them. An individual has an opportunity to come to Columbus Technical College and other technical colleges throughout the state of Georgia and involve themselves in programs for technical certificates of credit. At the same time, obtain their GED. And as that GED is being obtained and completed, complete a course of study, such as a diploma course, such as welding, etc. In other words, you don't get this any better from Burger King. You get 3-in-1 option, don't you?
Exactly.
And the best thing about it is the 3-in-1 option that they can get from Columbus Tech doesn't necessarily cost them a dime.
No, sir, not at all. And let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. So much so that sometimes I want to just put all my degrees in a box and just come back to Columbus Tech myself. Because a friend of mine, he actually went through major appliance technology. Now, how many appliances are in your home? I'll answer maybe about 7 or 8. When they tear up, you're not going to throw them away, but some people do. All right. So you can actually get certified in something like major appliance technology and actually have that skill. And I mean, you can make, well, I know it's not politically correct, but side hustle. Okay. So you can even have a side hustle while you're pursuing something else or working with Mr. Turner at Walmart, and that's to be repairing major appliances. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. So there's just so many opportunities here. Please, my information is out there. Come up here. I'll take you on a campus tour. I'll introduce you to all the faculty and staff members, and hold your hand through the process. So don't be afraid.
Well, I hope that our viewers have heard the invitation that you have extended, and I honestly hope that we inundate your campus with fatherhood participants left and right, and you guys have to wipe your forehead because you're so busy with the work that we send you. We look forward to that opportunity. We've got a new panel member that has just joined us. I do believe that's Mr. Brandon. I think he is with Hope of Goodwill or Goodwill of Hope. I will yield the floor to Mr. Brandon and allow him to speak and introduce himself as to what he does and the services that he could provide our participants. But just in case, I want y'all to know I want to do most of the talking, so I'm coming back. I'm not going to be gone long. We'll come back in just a little bit there. One of the subjects that our participants have sent a question about is called state debt reduction. Whenever an individual is in the Georgia Fatherhood Program, if they meet certain specifics or criteria, we would involve them in the process of state debt reduction. But I'm not an expert on that. But we do have Ms. Scott with us tonight, who's the office manager in Columbus. And I'm going to yield the floor to her and let her talk about state debt reduction and how the local office with fatherhood participants and other customers that visit her office, how they work that process with the customer. Ms. Scott.
Okay, John, state debt reduction, it is an opportunity for cases that have state arrears. Those are arrears that owe to the state of Georgia. We refer those cases over to our special operation unit. And after we identify that case is eligible to be referred. So our state special operation unit then contacts the customer. They negotiate with the customer. They get all the information on the customer to find out the eligibility a little bit further. And then they go into what they call negotiation for an agreement. And you can get the state arrears cut in half, 75%, 25% can be waived that's what the state is forgiving. So once you go into that agreement and you satisfy that agreement, then that case is referred back to the local office, where we refer it to the attorney who do the order and get the judge to waive a certain amount of those arrears that owe to the state. So it's a forgiveness that the state is giving that customer opportunity to have.
Okay. All right. And I do want to elaborate and say that that is one of the most exceptional services that the Division of Child Support Services offers individuals. As a fatherhood agent, now I'm a supervisor, but when I was a fatherhood agent, I did involve several individuals in that process who only had arrears cases. And I remember one older gentleman came in. He involved himself in that process, thinking he would never be able to meet his obligation, the amount that he was obligated to pay. But when he entered into that state debt reduction plan, he was able to complete his obligation to the family as well as to everybody else involved within a 2.5 year period of time. And I won't ever forget that gentleman came back to me years later and asked to see me and told me how much he appreciated not what I did, but what our division did for him in offering him this opportunity. So Ms. Scott, we appreciate you explaining that services to our customers, our viewers that are listening tonight. I want Ms. Coley, if she would, we've already kind of touched on it a little bit, but I'd like for Ms. Coley just to break it down, if she can. Simple language, simple steps. What actually are we, the Georgia Fatherhood Program, offering the customers that enroll in our program? Just break it down in layman terms.
Okay. To give you a one-word answer, the Fatherhood Program offers opportunity. Opportunity to connect with the local child support office for education about their child support obligation. Opportunity to connect with training opportunities through our partnership with the Technical College System of Georgia, to include Columbus Tech. Opportunity to connect with employers such as Walmart and other employers in the community, so that they can be self-sufficient, not only pay their court-ordered child support obligation, but maintain a standard of life, improve their posture in life. And so if I have to give a one-word answer, I would say the Fatherhood Program gives opportunity.
Okay. And if our viewers and listeners will write down that one word, it could be the word that changes their life forever. Opportunity doesn't always show itself, and it doesn't always come to an individual. So that is a very, very good word to explain the services of the Georgia Fatherhood Program. And it is our hope and expectation that those who are listening will take advantage of this opportunity. Ms. Scott, one viewer has asked this question. They're concerned about their payment. They feel that that which they are obligated to pay is a little bit high. So they're concerned with what they feel is overpayment, and they want to know how they could reduce or get that court-ordered obligation reduced. Could you kind of expound on that, please, ma'am, for us?
Yes, they have the opportunity for their case to be reviewed for a modification. So once they submit a request for modification, we then screen the order of support or the last modified order to see if they meet the eligibility of the 36 months. Because if it's less than 36 months, then they have to show where it's a substantial change, maybe in income, maybe loss of the job closed. But if it's over 36 months, then yes, they're generally eligible for a modification. And if you get in a situation where you can't pay your support or you lost your job, yes, by all means, put in for a review and modification. But at the same time, we explain that a modification, it doesn't happen overnight. It can take up to 180 days. And that's from the initial request that is put in up to the completion of obtaining the order. But also remember, it can go up, down, or remain the same. So just keep that in mind. But if you have problems in paying your support or you lost your job, we by all means put the modification in, because we want you to be able to pay your support and take care of your child.
Okay, all right. Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Lockhart, let me ask you this question. Does your campus have programs that an individual could complete remotely?
Yes, sir. Depending on what those programs are. But yes, we do have online classes with courses available 24/7. It just makes sense to me, especially for somebody going into a GD program, to go ahead and enroll in some of those college courses so they can go ahead and get something up under their belt so they can, get better pay. I mean, the opportunities it's the sky's the view, not even the limit here at Columbus Tech. So I also wanted to mention that we service a 6-county area. We also service Talbot County, Chattahoochee County, Stewart County, Quitman County, Muskogee County, and Harris County. So again, just the opportunities are there. And the perfect word, Ms. Coley, opportunity.
That's right. That's a good word. And I'm going to allow our manager, Ms. Kiska Dennis Gear, to expound on some greater opportunities at statewide as she began to talk about the agreement that we have with the technical colleges throughout the state of Georgia. Would you, Ms. Gear, mind just kind of taking a moment or two and expounding on the way that we are servicing individuals throughout the state with our agreement?
Thank you, John, for this opportunity. One of the greatest parts of the Georgia Fatherhood Program expansion was our partnership through the Technical College System of Georgia. We are now partnered with all 22 campuses and some of the remote campuses for the Technical College System of Georgia. And we are working to engage even in a more intimate way by having our fatherhood agents to be housed and sit on those campuses so that they can become familiarized with a lot of the information that Mr. Lockhart is sharing with all of the campuses statewide. One of the things that we're super proud of with this partnership is that we are able to pay for any training that is 6 months or less. So that means any training that any non-custodial parent or fatherhood participant is interested in taking advantage of that is 6 months or less will be available to them at no cost. As Mr. Lockhart stated, the sky is the limit. If you are seeking to obtain education to increase your employability, the opportunity is there for you within the Georgia Fatherhood Program. And the only thing you have to do is show up and participate, and fatherhood will take care of the rest.
Now, thank you, Miss Kiska. I appreciate you sharing that because I wanted to really expound and show the point of opportunity that Miss Coley was talking about. We're in Columbus tonight, and Columbus has a lot of wonderful opportunities for employment, for education, et cetera, et cetera. But our fatherhood program expands even beyond Columbus. So thank you for helping us understand that our technical school service agreement expands all the way throughout the state of Georgia. And we appreciate that so much. As we begin to kind of think about bringing a good thing to an end, which is this conversation, all good things have got to come to an end. We could talk about the Georgia Fatherhood Program, and you could talk about the services that you provide throughout the course of the night, but we got to kind of bring it to an end. But before we do that, I would like to kind of go to each of our panel members and allow them to expound on how they believe that the Fatherhood Program is productive in providing services for their organization, and how their organization has provided services for the participants that we refer to them for services. So let me begin with Mr. Turner. First of all, I mean, the information that Mr. Turner has provided to us about opportunities with Walmart, statewide, nationwide, is phenomenal. The way that they've got a mentorship, the way that they'll pay for you to exceed in a variety of different areas, dollar, day by day, etc. Tell us, Mr. Turner, if you would, how you feel that this Georgia Fatherhood Program has enhanced maybe Walmart, and how you as an employee and a leader there in Walmart has enhanced other individual lives.
So with that being said, we developing the talent when you putting the people in the place, giving them opportunity to not just have a job, but to have a career opportunity. So us, me and my team, we can develop the talent, help that person grow, get to the next level, and just providing them with the opportunity to bring in people out in the community, us getting out just helping and let them know that we are involved in our community. And we do have opportunities for everyone. Anywhere in this job, you can go anywhere in the nation, anywhere in the world. Like you said, if you trying to get to your child and they're across the country, you can transfer your job. We have hardships. If you're not been at the company long, you can go anywhere, overseas, anywhere, and have an opportunity to have a career.
Okay. All right. And that's well spoken. I love the word development. Your team will develop the individuals that we send to Walmart for employment opportunities to envelop a career for them that could last a lifetime. Thank you for joining our panel today. Thank you so much for the information that you provided. Well spoken, great information. Ms. Blunt, how about telling us how you help the participant and how the participant helps our access and visitation program?
Well, John, I was just looking online and noticed that last year alone, which started for us for October through September of 2022, that Fatherhood alone produced 460 referrals. 460. That means that 460 NCPs had the possibility of connecting with their children. For FY23 that started in October, Fatherhood alone has done 95 referrals. Okay, so you're going to blow your numbers out of the water from what you had last year. But think 95 people would not have had the opportunity to have access to their children had it not been for access and visitation and for Fatherhood collaborating together for such a unique thing to connect people back together.
Very well spoken. Someone has just sent this question in for you. Do you collaborate these services across state lines?
Yes, we can do across state lines. We have the possibility of doing virtual visitations now. It's something that we haven't had in the past. This is the first year that we've really engaged in that. So that can start off, as a small thing with the service provider, and then can build up to where, they can come up with their legitimation paperwork or their parenting plans that would allow them to, travel across state lines to see their children.
Okay. Is there any cost for your services?
Nothing. It is free. It is just like Fatherhood. Okay. Yeah. It costs you nothing but to be able and willing. Okay. You just got to be able and willing to participate, and we are more than happy to do the work for you.
Great. I can envision all across Columbus tonight, whenever you made that statement, people dropped their Cokes out of their hand whenever you said it cost them nothing to participate in your program, as well as the Georgia Fatherhood program. Ms. Scott, if you would tell us a little bit about how you feel that our customers have made us a better place of service, and we have made them better equipped to serve because we've engaged with them.
Well, John, just educating the customers about what we do here at Child Support and how we work with the Fatherhood program. Education is the most important part. They need to understand what we do. A lot of them misunderstand what we do. But I think if we just communicate better, educate them, provide them with the services that we offer, let them know the services that we offer, I think it'll make it better for them and us, because of the perception that a lot of customers have about child support. We're here to help them. We're here to provide them with the resources to be able to pay their child support, not just child support, but just to grow in their personal life, period. So Fatherhood does that, help the customers to do that.
Yes. One thing that we want to make sure that we convey is the fact that the Division of Child Support Services is always a friendly place to visit. We welcome our customers. We want to serve them. We're willing to help them with anything possible. that is our business. Now, we can't dibble in somebody else's business, but if it is our business, we will take care of assisting them, and then we will refer them to the proper place that they need to go. So thank you so much for being a part of our panel as well. And it's good that the Columbus area can see the face of the office manager in Columbus who welcomes them to come if they've got a question about any services at all dealing with the Division of Child Support Services. So we only have a minute or two left. Mr. Lockhart, I won't go out without giving you about a minute or two just to tell us how you have benefited and how we have benefited from you.
Well, I just want to say how special I feel my president, Ms. Martha Ann Todd, and my vice president, Dr. Tara Askew, for giving me this opportunity. She brought me in the office and said, Ken, you're going to be the contact for fatherhood. And I couldn't have been more happy that they picked me to help service our fathers and our mothers in the community. That's one. The other thing that I want to mention is the proof is in the pudding. When you talk about Columbus Tech and how we service the community, when you go get your tires changed, when you go get your hair done, when you go to a hospital, if you have to go, which I hope you don't have to go. But I've tested that theory many times. Even when I was in the hospital, from the time I got to the hospital, from the ambulance all the way to every test that I did, every one of those students actually trained at Columbus Technical College. The young lady that was pushing me in the wheelchair after I got out of the hospital, she was actually enrolled at Columbus Technical College. So the proof is in the pudding. I know what we do works, and I'm excited to be a part of it. You have family here at Columbus Tech by way of me. So anything that you, anybody on the panel may need, or anybody in our community, I know that my vice president and my president, they knew that they had the right man for the job, and I'm here to work for you.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate you being on the panel. You have spoken words of wisdom, and we appreciate you so very much. Ms. Coley, I'm going to give you about 15 seconds because I've got to throw this back to my manager and your manager as well to make closing remarks.
Sure. One thing that I neglected to say is that enrolling in the fatherhood program, one of the most attractive features is driver's license reinstatement. So once a participant is enrolled in our program, we can assist with reinstating the driver's license if they're suspended for failure to pay child support. I am excited about our partnerships with Walmart, with Columbus Technical College, with Goodwill, who hosted an event today that had over 800 jobs available. I'm excited about our presence in Columbus as well as throughout the state, but I'm biased and we're talking about Columbus tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to yield the floor to Ms. Kiska and allow her to make her closing comments as the Georgia Fatherhood Manager.
Thank you so much, John. You know, it just really does my heart good to hear all of the passion and commitment to serving our shared customers that we've heard from everyone on the panel tonight. And so a couple of things I wanted to clear up. You've heard reference to the acronym NCP. That stands for non-custodial parent or parent court ordered to pay child support. So I wanted you all to go away with that piece of knowledge. Ms. Coley has referenced the review and modification process. I'm sorry, not the review and modification process, but the driver's license reinstatement process. We've talked about state debt reduction, which is another opportunity to help non-custodial parents or parents court order to pay child support to reduce their debt and be able to get their order to a payable rate. Some of the things that we missed tonight, because there was just so much dialogue and passion about every aspect from every subject matter expert on this panel, was the aftercare services that the Georgia Fatherhood Program provides to our customers for those individuals who successfully complete. We provide a 90-day follow through with that individual to make sure that their connection with their employer remains intact and that all individuals are happy. And if not, we want to make sure that we pivot and provide support to that individual to make sure that they are able to continue their path to self-sufficiency. We didn't talk much about review and modification, but that is another opportunity for us to work on right sizing orders to help the individuals who are court ordered to pay child support to be able to have a livable, be able to pay their support and maintain their lifestyle. So let me just jump into my closing statement with you all. I want to say again, thank you to John, and thank you so much to the Omega Psi Phi organization for supporting us by hosting this outreach information session. The Fatherhood program functions under a strong community collaborative approach. We could not be successful without the established partnerships statewide. You've heard much of that tonight. Whether the need is education through the Technical College System of Georgia, access to your child through access and visitation, emotional wellness through our partnership with Fathers Incorporated, or assisting our DCSS customers navigate through the Division of Child Support Services system and our processes. The Fatherhood program can meet each participant where they are and support them to overcome their barriers to employability and lifelong stability. This evening, we've discussed various topics. It is our hope that this meeting helped to increase your knowledge of the Division of Child Support Services processes, services available through the Georgia Fatherhood program, and the support services within your community. As a reminder, paternity establishment is an imperative responsibility of the Division of Child Support Services. With that being said, if you have a child support case and paternity has not yet been established for your child, you can download the DCSS mobile app. The information has been added to the chat so that you can request an appointment to ask questions about paternity testing. Lastly, this meeting is recorded and will be available on the DHS Facebook page, the Omega Psi Phi Facebook page, as well as the Omega Psi Phi YouTube page for later access. We encourage you to take advantage of this information to assist you with your progress towards self-sufficiency. Should you have any questions regarding the Georgia Fatherhood program or anything you heard tonight, you're welcome to contact us via email at thefatherhoodinquiry@dhs.ga.gov, or you may call us at our customer contact center at 877-423-4746, or you may again download the DCSS mobile app to connect with us in that way. We thank you all so much for your time and this opportunity to meet with you, and we look forward to serving you.